Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Trine 2. So, I suspect here I've probably severely underemphasized where the value of multiplayer might be in this game. Because if you had 2 or 3 players, either couch co-op or online co-op, whatever it actually even offers here, I guess we could just jump into all this. It looks like it has online. That would make a very different experience, certainly, instead of just having to swap through the characters completely. And it would certainly explain why maybe there's not that many people that played the main story in general, is that they just wanted to do the puzzles with their friends and figure it out and cooperate with their friends. And I wouldn't be surprised if you actually don't get achievements for beating the single player levels without while doing multiplayer, or perhaps multiplayer players don't make it actually all the way to the end of the credits. Yeah, that definitely feels like that is a completely different experience. Speaking of experience, a different kind of experience, since we're on the main menu here, let's just highlight where we are as far as all the unlockables. We can see total experience. We somehow are missing about half of it, which maybe means that there's just a ton of experience in the DLC complete story content. Because if you start to look at the level, like we got all the level experience and everything in the first tutorial, we missed 3 experience pieces, which might be 1 orb, or it could be 3 orbs, which really highlights where you would need some kind of cursor or something to point you to where the orb is, or at least you'd have to use a walkthrough. And then you're missing 1 here, missing 1 here, missing 2 here. We got everything on Shadowed Halls, but then you're missing an experience, level experience and monster experience and a secret there in that level. Missing a secret here and 5 experience there. And I guess we just have not done Eldritch passages yet, which is number 11, and you can see there's only a 12 and 13 after that. Then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of extra content. So let's hop into the game.
After the battle with the Goblin King, the heroes searched the castle. They found strange clues hinting of another princess. It seemed that Isabel and Rosabelle had been close once, but what had happened to them? Despite Amadeus's reluctance, Zoya led them to the cellars to uncover secrets left in the dark.
So yeah, we're gonna uncover secrets. Now, just coincidentally, I just saw the trailer for Trine 5 as I was playing this, one of the trailers, the trailer for this thief character, which they do something nice here in that they actually show her face more. I guess you do see the character's face in the top left menu, but it seems like they probably have improved on that a little bit too, since trying to.
Whoa. Run for your lives! What unholy nightmare is this? Trine!
Got a
Trine!
eyeball.
Come back and take me home! I can't take this anymore!
It's probably just a little bitty part of a giant crab.
Little? This? You're not helping.
Okay. So this seems like pretty obvious puzzle. Go ahead and get rid of that. That was not necessary. I guess we could step here just to make sure that there isn't a collectible up there. One question certainly to ask is, if I cap off one end on this, would that get me more pressure the other direction? I bet it does. I bet that definitely gives you more pressure to get up to a higher spot. Weirdly though, I kind of feel like this is not what they intend the solution to be, because you just have that wonky element to it. Let's see. It isn't the solution, is it? You're supposed to grab this, and you're supposed to twist it to do that, to make a platform, to land on the platform. So a little bit sneaky.
And now acid?
It won't eat through my shield. I just had it acid-proofed at the smithy last week.
Acid will seemingly burn through. Is there possibly a trick here? Or is this just shield? We are acid proof on our shield, good to know. But then walking on the acid isn't so acid proof. And I guess we have now acid. Wow. Goblins seemingly coming out of almost nowhere. All kinds of spikes. And as we start to get higher up, I'm recognizing that there's more going on potentially here. Whoops. And she was dying on the spikes for a while there. Yeah, I don't know if you really could have gotten through the acid there. So you get all the acid to flow towards you, and then I guess you're just gonna have to take some damage. Swing that more. But I can't grapple my wooden parts. So am I perhaps supposed to take this and then do that and just make a big platform from it? I guess I am. Alright, once again, can we get past the acid though? Yeah. That seems like it's a fairly arbitrary point where you have to get past the acid first before you can do anything else. Okay. I see that there is an experience orb here, which that might give me a hint as to other orbs potentially existing throughout the other levels. It's still kind of the same experience though. Like, I just don't find that particularly appealing as an idea that the game might hide a orb or two or three in parts that are not visible to the player. Yeah, I'm not even really gonna bother to try on that part. I don't think that's the move. I think the move is probably to break this. And grab this. And this stone thing here is just, I think, too heavy. Okay. You see there's a switch over there. I've triggered these enemies to start attacking. Oh, I've got it. More and more this is just kind of relying on the plank, isn't it? No, that wouldn't work, would it? This would have to stay where it is. So just jump. Well, you instant die when you touch that, so I can buy myself some more room by doing that. Boy, does it feel like there's supposed to be more of a challenge to this, though. Like, maybe I could buy myself just a small amount of time doing this and jumping on this and jumping up there. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull this too. With your explosive arrows, you really don't have to pull back the full pull. Okay. What is the trick here, though? Seems like you can grab that one fine. But how in the world would you be able to get up there without... Let's see, if I make a thing there, it falls down. So it just does kind of feel like we, once again, are probably building a tower. Okay. Then swing up to this point to get to this point, and then go ahead and get more swinging. That was a lot more swinging than I really was expecting. Well, that didn't work the way I meant for it to work. Okay. Can I get up to this spot then? Just doing this. Oh, and I guess this just gives you that slight checkpoint now where, I mean, I guess that's better than nothing. My question, I guess, here to ask would have been, am I... Let's go ahead and get a checkpoint here. Pull this and see what that does. That just turns off the lava. Go back this way and refill the health. Okay. Okay, let's shoot our explosive arrow way over that way. Oh, you know what first we can do is we can just get rid of this by sticking it into the wall. And then that solves that problem. That's explosive arrow stuff. And see, I just kind of wonder if there is something higher up on the screen, or if maybe there isn't. It seems a little weird that this is the second to last level, or third to last level, whichever one it actually is. It does just seem like we would have a little bit more going on in all of this. I don't get it. This is tied to a rope, which is here. I may straight up just die here because of this. Like, there's just no abilities that you can do. And you know, the game just doesn't want you to really die from running out of oxygen. So it's taking way longer than you really need to. You can see you're taking pretty large chunks of health, but we're at the end of the game, and just now we've realized that you actually had more time than it ever really seemed like you would have. Did we get the rope? Any of that? Yeah, I really can't shoot an arrow up in that direction either. Let's pull this and see what this does. Oh. Well, that's an intriguing turn of events. Now, I don't really see what I'm supposed to be doing here. It seems like the camera should zoom down a little bit lower, because you have a barrel connected to another barrel. We can do about that much. We can try and shoot it, but it doesn't seem like we can break the rope. If we could cut the rope, you would think just doing that would have helped. I guess there's some thought to just checking out what's going on over here. Doesn't really seem like much. And if your overall goal is to reach those areas, it seems like you could probably just do this. Okay, let's see what happens when we swat this back this way. Yeah. There's no grapple hooks. I do have a concern that this whole process is really taking way longer than it should. Okay. Something succeeded there. And so now we just have this other barrel, which I suspect we're not really supposed to do anything with. Okay. Stand over here. Make a long platform on it. Make your giant cube for spawn number 2. Make another cube for spawn number 3. And then I definitely question whether I'm supposed to be able to get a 3rd cube here. But it definitely seems like I would need that 4th cube to get that heart. Do I really need to collect hearts? Not really. They are not counted. Yeah. Okay. So I could potentially put both of these. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to put these back this way. These are not here to make a platform like we did before. These are here to do this and do that. Now, I guess the question here is, how do we hold everything in place? There we go. So 1 cube there. Now we've blocked the airflow. And we can just make a nice platform. Jump up there. And jump up to that. The real question I have to ask though is, why is this not opening? Maybe this is just something we grab? Yeah, there's just nothing to grab here. And then we see these barnacles. You would just expect it to break. The only other thing I could think of doing is having the flame sword, jumping and slashing like that. But I didn't quite succeed there. So even though I see the collectible I'm looking for, like I see them clearly right there, the game is not going to let me really collect it. Unless I find something else somewhere else. Maybe if I put a cube in some acid somewhere, the acid would eat away with that, but then let's just think about this for a second. We have frozen arrows, we have a low gravity field, hammer explosion, I would assume does the exact same. Yeah. Just no other abilities really match that. If I get this wet, it doesn't do anything. Am I supposed to perhaps break it from the other side? Let's try that. Maybe I'm supposed to shoot it there. Yeah. That was the solution. Perhaps a little lucky I thought of that. The game really hasn't pushed me into that line of thinking anywhere else. But assume that there's either a lot of extra stuff over here, or this is the way you're supposed to go. But I seriously have to question, what in the world are you supposed to do to get up to that part? Maybe we just flood the whole area with water later. Because there's one here I can maybe get, but then short of like interesting, those look like switches, but I can't really reach them. Okay, we're at 4 level ups. We were saving up to this low gravity field. Our other options would be metal magnetizing. Magnetizes conjoined objects which then can attach to metal items. That doesn't seem as good as this. No. So we'll take that. So aim with the left stick and hit B. So we have a low gravity arrow, and then that makes a large section, much larger than I thought it really was going to be. Honestly, I thought it would be a much smaller circle. So you jump in a low gravity section, and maybe that is your way up as far as getting to higher spots. Okay. It doesn't feel to me like the low gravity arrow helps you as much as I perhaps would like it to, but it does feel like it's probably good enough for the few extra places you might look for a collectible. When I grab something like this, it's going to take its time now, but it's also going to explode, so we can explode the barrel in low gravity. And it seems to me like low gravity really means no gravity, for at least the jars. Okay. Do that to get up here. Let's make another cube to get here. Still very much just feels like... Oh, actually, I could have just done this. It just doesn't feel like this should be your final challenge. And it is also, I think, worth mentioning that the overall just wonkiness of the platforming of this game is something I've already just grown pretty accustomed to. So getting perhaps a few more collectibles by using this ability is maybe something that would happen, but maybe it's something that wouldn't. I guess the overall thought without the low gravity would be to just have this guy draw a box, put this character here, and then we can just go ahead and draw another box, actual box, to fall there. See, if anything, it feels like the physics have stopped working now. Things are just moving slowed down. I still don't really understand, like, the right stick idea. Like, clearly the move is just to do this and then get up there. And certainly, I guess this speeds up the process some. Now and buys you a whole lot of time. If I'm gonna do this, I would need something else. And I don't know what that something else would be. Because you want the fire to not start the barrel on fire. And I guess at a certain level, with low gravity enabled, you can just do that. And then hope that that works for you to get to where you want to go. Like, it definitely felt like there was a box there that, had I been at a higher spot, I would have reached the platform. It so drastically changes the game to the point where you're just not likely going to solve the puzzle this way if you don't have this ability. Okay. Move this down this way. Jump here. Move this down this way. There probably is a smaller solution to this. Like, if I just made like a small cube and crammed it into that spot that way, that probably gives me enough of a height advantage to just use that. Nope, that's not quite enough. Maybe I'm supposed to just wedge a cube into the gears on the right side. Maybe there's something to that too. Of course, I could just also... Seems like I could just grab it. Whatever. Like, does that really feel like that was the actual solution to that puzzle? No. Feels like I just muddled my way to a solution. Let's go ahead and
My
find
sister
another
is lost.
poem.
The night has begun. Only one can be queen when all's said and done.
It's pretty obvious that Rosabelle captured and locked away her sister so she could be queen. Okay. So we've got quite a lot going on here. I think the spikes down there have killed one or two of the spiders. Like, you do that, and what? Like, the two spikes don't really stab into each other. Would they conveniently stab into the thing? No. They will stab into this wooden part here. So it seems like I could make a plank to shield myself, or I just use the shield guy. Meanwhile, I guess the general idea would be to make a platform and get it up here first, and and then make a box to stabilize the platform. And then hope that we can get all the way around. Okay. Since we have this low gravity thing, let's see what low gravity would do for us.
Perhaps the spiky balls could be attached to something.
So now they're just falling down this hole. Why were they not falling down the hole before? Okay, so my one solution isn't gonna work. Let's do this. Seriously. Let's just hope that that causes less lava to flow going forward. More and more, it really is a situation where you need to run forward to, like, secure a section and then go back and get all the collectibles, it feels like. Again, this feels like this is just like felt like that was very much the shield guy coming back and just reiterating his value. But yeah, it definitely feels like a much more valuable character than I think he was in the previous game. That's about the only positive thing, however, I've been able to say about this game. Yeah, and there's just no telling if I've gotten all the experience points or not. It's just too dangerous to run back and check. So I'm just crossing my finger and hoping. Well, I guess we now have a checkpoint, so we could. Let's see. We're kind of gonna need the shield guy. Yep. I'd have to just use the shield. Yep. There is one energy orb. But I kind of don't have a way of getting to it either. Yeah. This whole platform moves. Which we are very, very late in the game for them to be introducing that concept. That the whole platform can move. Particularly since it doesn't seem like it can move enough to block the flow of acid. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just the end of the level. We get a sound effect that played. Okay.
Watch out!
A boss attack, it felt like, but maybe not actually a boss fight. There's the glowing engine underwater, which is interesting. I couldn't shoot the time slowdown arrows underwater. You really cannot do anything underwater. So, yeah. I wish there was a way to get rid of the low gravity effect without just shooting it somewhere else. That starts a whole puzzle.
This isn't doing
Meanwhile,
anything. Hear that? It sounds like it's jammed or broken.
we're, I guess, attacking no longer goblins, but merfolk of some sort. Some sort of sea creatures. So you can see them throwing spears at me, and I can just dodge them and shoot arrows at the other guys. We can see the dead body ragdolling, although not really ragdolling much. But you know, ragdoll bugs as a physics system have finally kind of gone away, thank goodness. Just a lot of people's personal engines based on the developer running into glitches. I wouldn't be surprised if something like Unreal Engine 2 or 3 actually had some ragdoll problems too. Okay. Let's see if we can figure out the trick here. Can we drag this one way or the other? It seems to me like it only goes up and down. Can we put an excessive amount of weight on this? Looks like we can. Not really sure what the next spot of point of that was, though. Definitely looks to me like there's something to do here. But I can't see any of it, so I'm hoping that this all just turns around and that we come back. Yeah. My guess is we are supposed to flood the water and raise the levels up. Then maybe we can address that. Also, the only other thought I guess I'd really have would be to have this guy move this. Let's see. Can we move it lower? Doesn't really feel like we can. One square, 2 squares. It'd make all the sense in the world to just put the squares there. Spin it. One thing I'd say is if this was the way you were going to build all of this, a visual line of the center of gravity on these objects to line up would be helpful.
It looks like another job for the wizard.
Okay. We just really got into this puzzle and it's already giving me hints. Okay, we also got 1 skill level, so it is going to come down to, do we want to shoot double frozen arrows, or do we want to save up for a magnetic shield? I think we're saving up for this. If we can get enough XP to get explosive hammer, then get kitesail shield, I'd like to see that. And then if not, we'll get metal magnetizing, and at least we'll know the top tier ability of at least 2 of the 3 characters. Okay. So you have a end pipe here, and you have a start pipe here, which probably means we need to do, I would guess, something like this. Have we been up here? Though. Actually, I don't think this works. I don't think it quite lines up the correct way. Yeah, that's not actually a platform. Weird. It totally looks like a platform. It wants something closer to that. Then I guess the question is there possibly some kind of wavy way with 3 curves to get to that? Like, that's too far up. That's too far down. That's too far up. That's too far down. This part doesn't work. This part can't be moved. Okay. I think I've got it. So you have to see the entirety of the puzzle pieces that you can move, otherwise you won't be able to solve it. I imagine there's probably several other ways this could have been solved other than that.
Let's go and try it out.
And I do appreciate the game just telling me to say, hey, let's go try it, because we probably solved the puzzle, instead of perhaps making me guess that if I've solved the puzzle or not, and try it out multiple times. This area over here is not being affected. It doesn't seem. So that may just be the big puzzle for this level. Okay. Come over here. And set this up as high as I can. That's basically as far as I can go. Maybe if I'm standing here, I could reach lower. Nope. Let's just make a box then. Take this, put it over here, and we'll do what we did before. And then we'll go and flood the water back. Still not really doing anything over here. Okay. And I can just jump up there, so I don't even know what you could have possibly done to get to a flat foundation where you could have used the other guy's ability to bring up the barrel and stab it on there and grapple, which is what it looked like it was doing. And maybe I could even be generous and not call these spikes a red herring, but perhaps just a visual hint that it's going to involve the archer character. Nothing. There. And nothing here. What I really wanted to see though with the upgrades is that this guy would not have to do 3 or 4 hits to kill an enemy, and there's just no way, particularly in these types of levels, that you're going to become so overpowered that that is the situation. This guy's going to get destroyed in acid, I bet, if it actually affects him. Come on. Yeah. Having to shoot 3 arrows with our arrow guy, even though we have explosive arrows, is annoying. Having to swing the sword multiple times is annoying. And I'm not sure if I really need to do much of anything. Just take our shield guide and be ready to use the shield. Jump and jump. Was there literally any other trick to that, or any other way to solve that puzzle? There's a burstable plant, which doesn't really feel like it means anything. We have a whole movable thing down here, which maybe we're going to deal with that later.
Dear Rosie, happy 18th. I was as surprised as you are by the announcement. We should talk, Isabel.
So we just now have, like, explosive gas bursting plants. Which, yeah, I feel like they are just in the way. And yeah, this definitely feels like it is trying to be an extra difficult area. Okay. That makes us have a little platform there. Jump, make it to this platform, grab that, grab that, grab that, grab the collectible, another painting, concept art, not really anything special. Just go ahead and push that over there. And then that just turns off the lava. Nice. Just push forward and grab that and take a little damage. I'll take a little damage here, and we'll take a little damage here. And I guess you just have this whole awkward mechanism, which you could have potentially used. And weirdly, this is something you can move while standing on it, whereas so many other objects can't be moved while standing on it. So I don't know the real reason for that. We now also know I've collected all the XP in this level because I just got the achievement for it, and I've found all the secrets in this level, which is nice. So thank goodness for, I guess, playing thoroughly. But I will say I still have this weird feeling that there was at least 2 or 3 of these puzzles that I did not really solve in the correct way. And it's, I think, fairly strange that I've potentially found all the XP in this level, and yet it seems like there's more level. Is it just going to be a boss fight, or what? Let's just chase after this acid and come over here, and then jump back here, and then jump back here. Yep. I think we are probably going to benefit from just, if I can hit the side of that like that, I think that works very well. And then that puts me here, which puts me way up here, which puts me here, which puts me here, which puts me way up here.
I'm really starting to feel uncomfortable about this. What? The smell? Hunting for long lost treasure in a sewer filled with these things.
So 3 shots to the eye. It feels like I could have potentially not really attacked him. Weirdly, that does just kind of feel like that is the end of the... This may be just the end of the level, or maybe this is a multiple attack thing. I don't know if I can really get through this whole section. It's like you're avoiding the acid to get up to this point. See, that's just pushing you the other direction. Come on. Jump on this acid so it doesn't hurt you. Jump over it, get the high angle, get over here. Now what? He has no abilities at all. So... yeah, we've found yet another spot where our fighter guy, a wizard, just has nothing to offer. At best, he can be a sacrificial lamb while we try and jump around all of the acid. We can save the health of the other characters. Interesting, though it seems to me like the acid is actually curving around the sphere, which that doesn't really make a lot of sense. It seemed like it wouldn't do that, it would just go straight down a lot slower. So we've downright just perfected this whole level, and I'm not as frustrated as I was yesterday when I was recording a bunch of games, but I'm still not like super enthralled or happy with this experience. We'll get a cutscene and maybe this will reveal something interesting. But
Rosie, where are you?
Isabel? Lady Princess, come back!
Let's follow her.
okay, and so I guess we're just going through the mirror. Didn't really have any other options.
While trying to save their kingdom, the heroes had been drawn into a tangle of intrigue and mystery. Following the elusive shadow of Isabel, the heroes stepped through Rosabel's mirror. As they passed through the portal, they felt a freezing cold touch, leaving them chilled to the bone.
So yeah, I checked the achievements as far as the remaining levels in the main story, and it is basically you lose about 10% of the remaining player base. So by finishing this game, we are, I believe, at 22. Let's just say I'm misreading it, and 27% of players. Next time it'll be about another 10% of that remaining 27% that will go away. So yeah, and I could see why. Certainly this is not drawing me to a amazing conclusion, and that boss fight was very rough. Even if they gave us a really good boss fight at the end of the game, for the number of levels we have, we should have had at least one more boss fight, and probably should have had some kind of somewhat big boss fight at the beginning of the game. And we have had boss fights, certainly, but they're incredibly forgetful. Or forgettable, I guess that's the right word to use there. And yeah, I just don't know what you do. More and more, I just feel convinced that Trine 2 really should have been a next generation of characters, even if you still had a thief and a armor guy and a wizard as tropes. That would have been a second generation that took away some abilities or changed the abilities would have been very useful. Particularly the wizard being able to conjure boxes and the physics around that needs to go away. Conjure planks, conjuring boxes. Perhaps there should have been like little dotted spots where you could conjure a box instead of just conjuring a box anywhere in the level, because that's just too hard to balance levels around that idea. Maybe that would have worked. Or perhaps you just have boxes and planks in levels when you need to use them, very much like in Portal, and then the ability to pick them up and move them around should perhaps be just in the hands of one character. And then the thief character being able to shoot so many things with archery maybe is unnecessary if you want to keep the third character with the sword to be the only fighting character. Definitely we saw on that boss fight at the end of this level, though, our wizard character is completely useless when really there feels like there should be a solution there. So either give the wizard character a small fireball attack that is super weak or super short distance. It would kind of make sense if the thief character was long distance attacks but couldn't actually attack anything at medium distance or short distance. Wizard was short distance, or wizard was medium distance, and then the armor guy being short distance, just swinging a sword and not being able to hammer throw. But yeah, inherently them changing the characters around maybe lets them create different types of puzzles and maybe lets them focus a little bit more on the puzzles. Anyways, we've already gone an hour, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.